Hello, Joe Fernandez here. How's everybody doing out there? I shouted out on social media, kind of asking like what guitar players are, facing in their playing, what kind of struggles or obstacles that they might encounter. And what I gathered from that was pretty much that people want to have an overall better sense of the concepts, the musical concepts that they're using. Whether it's harmonic or melodic concepts, but it all boils down to really knowing your fretboard, knowing that major scale and its patterns, so that you can start connecting it through your fretboard. You can start connecting ideas in your head, chord structures, and then that in turn helps out a bunch of other things. You can learn songs easier from this system. You can solo over changes and hit target notes that make your solo sound really awesome. But yeah, let's get started. So we've got C over here. And hopefully you know that whole step and half step pattern that creates that major scale. You got whole to D, whole to E, half step to F, whole step to G, whole step to A, whole step to B, and half step to C. So that's whole, whole, half, whole, 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 half, right? From that system, you can start incorporating it across other strings. You go for the D string, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, right? Learn it across the strings, learn it at the length of the string, right? This is where cage system comes into play. You can start by one pattern at a time. Open position. Right, second position. Third position. Or you might call it fifth position because of the fret here. Fourth. And then the fifth pattern. Now you connected all 5 patterns, and from that, you can start creating all kinds of different things. The arpeggios, which is chord structures, right? Moving, you're going to start seeing that pattern in your chords, in your C, D, E. And this is essentially tracking that scale on multiple strings. That's how you start creating chords. You start harmonizing that way. To use 2 strings. Use 3 strings. There's so many different combinations. You can use all chords of the major scale. Anyways, you'll start seeing that the guitar is very shape oriented, and you're going to be recycling these patterns over and over. This also ties into modes. If you learn the C major scale, you also know, you start seeing that the second mode is D Dorian. It's the same exact notes, except you're focusing around a D chord. Right, third mode, Phrygian. It's a minor scale. Fourth mode, you got Lydian. Right, kind of like the Simpsons. Fifth mode, your dominant chords. And I'm hitting all the same notes of C major except I am resolving to that fifth note for that mode, the fifth, G here in this case. A minor, you got your relative minor, same note, C major, no sharps or flats, right? And in these scales, in all these patterns, you're going to see other patterns pop up, like pentatonic patterns, which you're just omitting half steps, right? You get your major pentatonic, minor pentatonic on a D minor. And I know this from my cage system. Minor pentatonic for the third chord. Just omitting half steps, right? F, major pentatonic for F, major pentatonic for G, minor pentatonic for A. Diminished is its own beast. Really awesome beast, I might add. Takes you back to C major. So, learning all those patterns, you're going to be recycling them. You're going to start making connections. You can follow chord progressions. Say, for example, C, A minor, F, G. It's basic 4-chord pop formula, right? It's your, for a couple of bars, you're highlighting that C chord. Might want to land on an A for that next chord. Throw an arpeggio in there. Move it along to F. And finally G. Finally back to C. Pentatonics for each one of those. Right? Play some cool rhythms. Go to the now Rogers school of rhythm there, right? And he kind of does that. I mean, get lucky, throws, shift all those patterns to a different key. It's all the same 5 patterns, but shift them up to for get lucky. For example, D major, kind of a B minor thing, right? B minor, D, F sharp minor, E major. That's me knowing all 5 patterns of my major scale and just learning how to move through them. And then there's a whole nother way to really get the most out of your practice routine, to really absorb that knowledge. I know it can be kind of daunting to have so much information to look into, but the point of this video is to let you know that it all starts with a major scale. Learn where those notes are. I know exactly what note I'm hitting every single time. And I know what notes create the chords that I'm going for. So learn those 5 patterns. Memorize the spelling of these chords. C, E, G, D, F, A, E, G, B, F, A, C, G, B, D. What's your sixth one? A, C, E, B, D, F for B diminished, and C major. So once you start knowing all that stuff, you start modifying those natural notes to get different chords out of there, right? Or even different scales. Most of this stuff is major scale related, all these chord progressions. But then you've got other scales. Say for example, we got an A minor, which is the relative of C major. This is all natural notes. So we're just starting and ending on A's. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A. Gives you your natural minor. G, F, G. Right? All major scale related. However, you can start messing around with other scales. Modify that G to a G sharp, and you got a harmonic minor. And then you learn all the chords that are created from a harmonic minor as well, right? You got a lot of cool sounds out of that thing. In order to know where that G sharp is, you first got to know where that G is so that you can target it, right? You get beautiful scale right there too, that harmonic minor. You could also get into melodic minor. Now you got an F sharp and G sharp in your scale. So A, B, C, D, E, F sharp, G sharp, A. But again, you're not going to know how to target those notes unless you've already know the major scale in and out, backwards and forwards. All the arpeggios along the way. C, D, E, right? Practice them all across the fretboard. Practice them all across the strings. B diminished, and C, right? So those across the strings, learn them across the neck, or at the length of the neck. C, D, E, F, G, A, B diminished, and C. I'm telling you, it is the best use of your time. You're going to start seeing all kinds of connections here. You're going to connect arpeggios, you're going to connect chords. You're gonna connect all kinds of scale runs, or the modes, right? Relative scales, it's all about relative scales. Tons of things you can do for practicing or implementing this stuff. That was probably gonna be a whole nother video, how to implement it, because you can understand it, but for it to show up in your playing, you got to use a metronome. You got to practice in real time, right? You got to practice through different rhythms, your quarter notes, your eighth notes, all these subdivisions, triplets. You want to you want to practice all of that so that you're less and less limited when you're improvising, when you're creating. You can go for something because you've worked out the technique. You can throw it in your playing, throw it in your writing, in your improvisation, and have more tools at your disposal. You don't want to be limited when you're trying to express yourself. Alright, anyways, thanks for watching. If you have any more questions, feel free to hit me up. I can give you more of a tailored response to your specific questions. This is kind of just a general idea. If you have, those are the fundamentals, and if you have those, you can really take off from that spot of knowing those basics in and out. All right, well, thanks again for watching, tuning in, and hopefully I get to make some more of these videos for you guys. Just let me know what you want to hear. Let me know your questions, comments, and yeah, see you guys soon. See ya.